have an hour before my next work appointment or so, and I was going to possibly make a video, but I just kind of feel a little tired and burnt out. I was trying to think of something fun and creative, and so I was just like, well, I have the time to do some archery practice anyways. Might as well do a little bit of live thing and see if someone wants to hop on or join. So if you guys want to join up, fantastic. Let me know if the audio sounds bad because I can fix that. I don't know, I'm just outside here. But that's basically it. I'm doing some archery outside on a beautiful Monday before I have to go to work and get my kids from school. So any questions for whatever reasons, just let me know. But that's it. I just got a bunch of arrows. I'm just shooting through them, just enjoying the quiet. Figure I might as well just do a live because I don't want to do a video today. And the one I'm doing right now, just so you know, this is the best one that this is the best one for training. This is the flat bow. This is 121 at 30, so this is 121 pounds at 30 inches. And so I know it does look like Silent Hill, right? So basically this one is great because they don't lose draw weight over time necessarily. So they're really good just to train with and practice with and put a lot of reps in, because the wood bows, they tend to degrade quite a bit quicker, but these tend to hold on a lot longer. So this is what I tend to use when I'm out here just doing a day where I'm practicing, just taking a couple pot shots. So that was a broadhead too. Those ones are pretty gnarly right there as far as they go. I got quite a few different kinds that I tend to shoot when I'm just messing around. These are more like a leaf tip here, something like that. And so these ones are good just for messing around and stuff like that. But if I want to hit something, that's when the bodkins come out. They're way heavier, fly quite a bit slower and everything like that. Arm guard. The arm guard was actually from Three Rivers Archery. Um, I got that years and years ago. It's actually kind of fallen apart, to be honest. Like, it's got a couple parts. I just wrap it under right there. But it works pretty well. This little string is a little bit cumbersome. It's more style than function, I feel, but it does a pretty good job overall, I would say, just in being a good quality arm guard, providing the protection you need, everything like that. So this is what I do anytime that I just kind of have to myself when I'm not trying to make a video. And so I feel like lately I've been trying to pump out a bunch of videos for YouTube and trying to make like fun content. I'm just getting and not being able to actually have doing archery. So I was just gonna do this right now and just have a good time. The game had for 9 years. Okay, nice. Good morning. Question: knowing about bows, have you tried creating them? No. So to be honest, the bows, making them, the arrows, yes, I don't mind making arrows, but making bows has always kind of freaked me out. I feel like, I've had them snap on me before, but I just really feel like I don't have the tools or the time to really do a good job and get it how it needs to be. So I don't really want to do that necessarily. Maybe one day down the road, that'd be pretty cool, but I just don't necessarily feel that's going to be the one thing I ever want to do. What's up? Syria? I have no idea. I don't keep up with a lot of stuff. So this is going to be more of a barbed head there. These things are gnarly because once those get in, those are not going to come out. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So these things get stuck in there real gnarly, and that's going to be one. I don't like to use them as much because they tend to be a bit more fragile. They're great for like single purpose stuff. I just want to try and make a point. And so, yeah, so honestly, yeah, it is delightful weather. Honestly, it was just too nice a day to go actually try to move a camera around and make an actual video. So it's like, you know what, today's the day just to be outside and just do some archery and then see if anyone wants to join along and just have a good time relaxing before life begins, work and kids and all that. Ooh. And then going on to it, these are more of the standard bodkins that I use. This one's got a little crook in it. It hit a target, so it flies a little funky. I gotta correct it, But if I'm just out here just taking shots, everything like that, you know, they're good. Horse bows are amazing, man. Um, they are fantastic. I have a really good one from MR Bows. It's a 135 at 28, so it's a really beastly bow. Um, and so I bring that out from time to time and everything. But usually, if I'm just training, it's just going to be with this one here, and just like a standard flat bow, because the flat bows are, I think, really great, and they kind of work well with the Mediterranean style draw that I do and everything like that. Yeah, no, this one here is just nuts. The flat bow. So the 121 at 30, it's just got this great little hum to it when it releases. It's so good. I don't know. Sorry, I think my internet's a little bad. I'm out here in the field. I don't usually use internet or anything out here. So sorry about that if that's coming on. Work. All right, man. Have a good day at work. You know, I don't really do hunting with the longbows. No, I don't really hunt in general either. It's just more for fun, just shoot targets and everything like that. You know, just a good way to be cathartic and relaxing. Hunting trips just take a long time. I feel like it's just a lot of time out of the day to go and make that trip and make that commitment. I just don't have the time right now. I appreciate that. Honestly, it's just such a blast and so much fun. Um, but I do feel like with the last bow in the compound, like I put a lot of effort into that one, and I just kind of got tired. I'm like, I don't want to do another one right now. And so I just want to take it easy, think about something fun and unique to do, just to not kind of throw one out there. Just one question: what do you do for a living? I actually, so my hours aren't 9 to 5, right? I tend to have busier evenings most of the time, and then during the day when the kids are in school, I'm not as. And so I've been doing that for quite some time, my wife and I, and so that's we kind of, you know, are able to make our income, and then I have, you know, a little bit of time of this on the side just as like a fun hobby to share with everyone like that. It's great. Internet is rough, but it freezes positions you mid-draw hold. Yeah, so sorry, I'm out here in the field, and so I usually never use internet out here, so it's a little sketchy, I guess, so I apologize for that. Sorry, guys. Live at lunchtime, yes. How much did you pay for the flat bow from Joe Gibbs? That was about, what was it? I think at the end of the day, conversion, it was like, I think it was almost 800 bucks for that. So it was a decent investment for sure. But I think that's the great thing about them is they just tend to really hold up over time. The longbows, thanks from Egypt, the longbows, you just got to tend to recycle them after a couple years. They lose that power, and this is something you can keep for a long time. I've never done horseback archery. I don't even know how to ride a horse well, so I would probably die, to be honest. That would be a fun thing to do, but I really feel like I would probably get hurt pretty bad trying that, so I'd really need to take it slow. About Mongolian archers. Yeah, no, I definitely will. Sir Gaines can catch an arrow in the armor, sure. I think you ask him, he'll be like, yeah, I'll catch it with my fist or my face. I don't think he thinks it'll hurt him, you know. As far as the thing, no, it's no thumb ring. I've never actually done anywhere. It's never done thumb draw, so I don't even know where to start for that. So I would really need to like start from the ground up, probably like at 50, you know, 50 pounds, something like that. And so have you tried one of Joe Barbarian recurve bows? So yeah, I haven't done that yet, to be honest. I would love to get one, but there's just so many different bows out there, so many different quality type ones there that I really just need to make the time to make those purchases down the road. It's just there's so much fun stuff to do and so much cool stuff to buy that I just am like, man, one day I'll get it all, but just not that time yet as of now. Oh my gosh. So the thumb draw thing would be really cool to get into, but again, that's gonna be a square one thing. And so for now, the one I have, the MR bows, it's a longer recurve. It's like 54 inches, so it works really well. Um, with the Mediterranean three finger draw. So I think that that is something that I'm like happy to stick with for the time being and everything like that. Shoot it once. I mean, you could probably shoot two at once, but I really feel like they're not going to go anywhere. I've tried it before, but for me, it doesn't work at all. I've never been able to do it with any sort of modicum of accuracy. It just kind of scatters everywhere. You look in the Prophet Muhammad, just like from the Eastern style archery, for the first time archers. Well, it depends if you want to be like traditional archery or if you want to go to like modern type bows and everything like that. For traditional archery, I would say Three Rivers Archery is a great start because they have good like primitive type recurve bows that aren't a ton of money. If you want anything that's straight wood, it's going to be really hard to get one at an entry price, especially if you don't really know your draw weight. So it's really important to start lower and then build up from there, and then slowly get up to like one where you feel comfortable with that draw weight and staying there, and then get a nice wooden bow at that point. So I really would say that it's like a good right there. Which war would be easier to draw at about 128 in Asiatic style from them? Or so for me, this is like a good middle ground, the flat bow here. I feel it stacks a little bit at the front, but not as much. But I really feel like with the recurves, because of the way they go, the longbows stack a lot at the back a lot of times because they're long, so it's distributed out quite a ways. And so with the recurves, they're more compact, so it tends to stack a lot more in the beginning. And then once you get it, it kind of lets off just a little bit. They're still super duper heavy, but the 135 at 28 recurve feels a lot heavier duty than like an analogous warbow because it's easier in the beginning, so you can get a partial draw on a warbow early easier, but it's not going to go, you know, it struggles to get back to that final pinch. But with the recurve, if you can't break that first little beginning, you're really going to get stuck early on, I feel like. Two man chess up close and personal long range. So, okay, zombie apocalypse, I would say up close for sure. It's going to be some kind of warhammer, some single-handed blunt type instrument, like a pick on it or something like that would be what I would definitely choose. And then probably some like dagger or something like that. I would want something that's just got mass behind it, so that would be like a hefty single-handed warhammer, you know. And then I would bring some kind of some kind of laminate recurve or like flat, but it doesn't really degrade as quickly over time. Longbows are great, but they are big. They're cumbersome to use, you know. And so I feel like that's probably what I'd stick to. Melee weapon, I mean, I've never really trained well or formally like with a sword or anything like that, so I feel like I would be at a disadvantage. So for me, I would just want something that's like, I love that I can use with a minimal amount of skill and close the distance, because I've done grappling for a long time, jiu-jitsu and wrestling and everything, so it's like if I can have something that gets me close, then that's probably what I would do. So a big shield to close distance, and then I would get in close and probably engage with a takedown. So I would say something like that. So I'd want a shield and then like a small dagger, so I could get like a rondelle dagger, so just enough to close the distance, take someone down, and then do a dagger step, you know. Because it's crazy too, I don't know, I did that recent thing with hey, what's up, man, how you doing? Great first time you do it. So, oh no, yeah, Robin hooding's terrible. Like, yeah, last video I did, I don't live stream often, man. I just this is just one of those days where I came out here and I was like gonna try to do a video because I had like an hour, and I just didn't have the energy. I'm like, you know what, I'm just tired. I'm gonna do some archery and then maybe live stream, you know. I started grappling, I started wrestling when I was like in my 20s, I think. And then when it's jiu-jitsu's mid 20s, late 20s. So I did it for like 10 years or something like that. Got up to purple belt, and then 7 years ago is when we started having kiddos. And so I've kind of been a hiatus. I'm like 40 now. So I haven't done it for like, you know, 6 years probably. So I'm rusty for sure. There's still some groundwork there, but it's definitely not there. If I went back, I'd probably be close to a blue belt. If I went back, I'd probably be at a blue belt, you know. So rural people have friends. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true, honestly. But we're talking about a duel, and in a duel, I'm definitely taking someone down. What about doing the Robin Hood staff splitting shot? Any advice on that? Oh, geez. So let's do this one. So if Todd got his hands on those ones, I hope he does. Bishop Archery, who made those arrows, is an amazing guy. He's super cool, and I hope he connects with Todd because those arrows, I think, were the one thing that were superior in the testing that I did versus his. And if he had those, I feel like with the 130-pound compound, maybe Todd can send me the 130-pound. Either way, if he had that combination, I think it would be substantially more devastating, you know, over time. For sure. For shooting a 100-pound warbow is going to be time spent training, definitely, and then the technique and style. So let's just say for this one here, this is going to be the 121 at 30, right? So if I try to pull it back, like let's say an Olympic style, so you're starting here, and you're just kind of coming, I can get it, but it's a lot harder than doing it with like a full draw. So I tend to go up a little bit more, and so like in most ranges and things like that, or especially indoors, you're not really allowed to do like a higher upper draw where you're pulling down with the back muscles. But it's really getting the movements right. That's going to be the biggest key for sure, because you're really going to come in and you're going to come up and you're going to use the whole body to pull it down and push it away as you're coming down to kind of split the work between the body. So for something like this, if I want to get that big full draw and not really, you know, blow a gasket, you kind of drop into it a little bit more like that. So as opposed to just pulling it straight back, you really are using like just the back muscle there and a little bit, but you're not really activating that front arm. And so the big thing is coming down with it as well is going to help quite a bit with that form as well. Costume clothing, I'm sure, but putting together, nice. Excellent, Ren. Yeah, Arm Street is fantastic. They're really good. So that's a good way to check out. This shirt, honestly, this thing here is just from like Amazon. I think I just looked up like pirate shirt or something random like that. And I was like, oh, I looked at medieval shirt and it was like a sleeveless pirate tunic. I'm like, that's cool. The rest of it, I tend to get from like Cult of Athena has a lot of good stuff, and that's like very good, like mid-level stuff where it's not like they pull from different distributors, so they get a lot of things from all over. Arm Street's probably the best, but one of the costliest. That's where I have like the nice cold rolled steel armor from. So Arm Street is really good as well for all that. And then let's see. That's kind of the most of it. I just kind of picked something I think looks cool, so it's not like historically accurate necessarily. On the Irish longbow from 2000 BC is unique eyelets instead of standard nocks. No, I haven't seen that, honestly. Boromir, yeah. And yeah, it sucks. No, so for hay, definitely, you know. Great ration. Bros are great. Compound, so boring. Yeah, the compounds can be boring, but I really had, honestly, I had so much fun with the last video I did. And I think most of it was because I kind of got to use, like, you know, that little thing with Dequetum as well. It's a lot of fun to kind of meet those people. And so he and I have talked back and forth for sure. And we're trying to get together like more of a long form thing where we can kind of play off each other a little bit more and bring in more characters and make like a full video. But that was just really fun just to kind of get a good, to, you know, get together and make something. And I really thought that it was when I had the 1.5 millimeter hardened steel with that knee plate, there's no way I thought it was going to act the way that it did. And I was just fully shocked, you know. Yeah, they have a lot of apparel there, and they have some decent gambesons. I'll say it right one day, maybe not today. But that's where like the Sir Gaines one is from. It's like a good entry-level one. It's kind of bulky, so I kind of had to hem it in a little bit. But it's fun. They got good little apparel, entry stuff. That's where I got a lot of the Roman stuff one. That's where I got the Balearic type slinger thing as well. Oh, it's from Colt Athena, so it's good and it's not too pricey. And like you said, you can just kind of pull from different sites and things like that as well. It's crazy. I guess you could, yeah, no, I was a favorite Beast Marine chapter. I like the oh my gosh, I'm reading right now, um, Sir, the Black Knights. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. I'm reading Sir Lionel's book right now, um, and I think he's one of the best Primarchs, at least. He's kind of got the best. I think he's the most chivalric of all the characters. I think he's the one there. So obviously his chapter went into disarray and everything like that. Dark Angels, thank you. Yeah. So I like the Primarch the most. The Dark Angels kind of went, a little iffy in his absence, but it's fun to see him because he's like a very Arthurian, prototypical hero in a dark, grimdark's future. Um, do I have a favorite helmet style? Um, I like hmm, I think my favorite in terms of just design is like the Corinthian helmet. Um, functionally, you can't hear as much. There's a lot of limited vision and everything, but I think stylistically, I think that's just the very much the coolest style of helmet. I think that one holds up well across popular culture and cinema and everything. So that's what I'm definitely gonna roll with. Is gonna be that one, 100%. Um, but again, there's other ones. There's better ones for different types of warfare, but that one to me just looks the coolest. Saleh, yeah, that's a good one. Honestly, I think functionally, as far as historically, I think that one is probably one of the best that's been used across times, and there's been different little bits of like improvisions and stuff. But I think that one has definitely stood the test of time as far as helmets go. But again, I just don't think it has the same pizzazz and look as like a good Corinthian, you know. Yeah, I think I'm kind of shooting till I run out of arrows. To be honest, I got 21 out here, and I figured I would just kind of go from there. Um, so, would you ever try making your own bow? I mean, honestly, someone's asked me before. I think maybe one day, but not in the near future. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, little bits of little bits of things that I can do in the time that I have, and little builds and things like that. I'm not like a super skilled craftsman. So the arrows are great because I can just kind of do all that. Details on the thing movie I helped out in Greece. So again, in February, I can talk about February. I can talk about what I did, the people I trained, and everything over there in Greece for that. I have a bunch of behind the scene footage and stuff that I filmed already, just like the training with the stunt crew and the actors and stuff like that. And I'm talking with the production company, like marketing department, and I'm kind of sending them like a rough draft and everything. But it's not going to be until the actual release date in February. I can actually say much more about that at the time. So that's going to be, soon. That's going to be cool. But until then, I can't really say too much about it at that time. But it'll be fun to share it when that comes around, definitely. So I'm excited to do that, but I just can't do it yet. And this is one of the cool little arrows that I have. This one's more like a standard leaf type arrow. Now the only problem with these ones here um, is yeah, the return, right? I know. I wish I saw that trailer. I was like, oh man, everyone's gonna think of that one. No, I was actually there with the sling. I didn't actually work with the bow at all. It actually brought me in to train someone to use a sling for the slingshot. So that would be fun to do that. Samurai based weapons. Um, as for the samurai based weapons, I have like like Cult of Athena, that Cult of Athena sent me like a katana to do a like a little review thing of it, and I'm working on that. These are 1/2 inch shafts right here, so they're pretty meaty. So they're about like 1600 grains, so they're pretty big. The short bow, yeah, they tend to stack a little more in the front. I was talking that a little earlier. The shorter the bow, the heavier the initial draw is once until you actually break it, I feel like, for me personally. So I definitely feel like they tend to be a little harder, less forgiving, I would say, for sure. Next one, no, I don't have anyone in the mail right now. I have like a decent, um, I have a decent amount of bows that I kind of cycle through, and I can't just unfortunately keep buying them over and over and over. Um, yeah, they do look like javelins, right? These things are just, when you look at it, it's kind of crazy to see like the size and the scope of how big it is and what a 1/2 inch shaft actually ends up looking like. But the only other one I really would like to get one day would be like a really good, true composite horse bow, made out of hide and bone and sinew and things like that. So that would be very cool to see. Medieval war darts. Um, I'm not 100% sure, but one thing I did actually do is I reached out to someone said, "Hey, have you ever tried one of those javelins from Cold Steel?" And I was like, um, you know what, I don't know what that is. So I looked at Cold Steel, and they're like these almost these pound like little like throwing things, and I reached out. It's like, hey, could I get some of those for that large balearic sling I have to see how that works? And they said sure. And so they're gonna send me some of those, so I'm gonna try to see if I can use that with a large sling as something like that, kind of like an old, like a dart, so to speak, or like the old projectiles that they had. um Whim. The YouTube thing, honestly, was just kind of a whim. Like, it's something that I've done for a long time. Um, and so it was just something where I decided that one day I posted a video, and much to my shame, I think the first video I did was like on TikTok or something. And so I feel like I've come a long way, I hope, from the initial onset of the videos. Most of them were just kind of like embarrassingly shirtless, whatever stuff. But then once, like, I think that was like kind of the shtick, I guess, in the beginning to get some traction, so to speak. And then from there, I was able to kind of get a little bit more of a following of people who liked, you know, the archery. And then I was able to kind of make more fun videos with the costumes and the history, which is what I enjoy substantially more um, than anything. You know, that's the fun part of it to me. Is yeah, we all start somewhere. That's the fun part to me, is like sharing the fun and trying to be funny, and the humor and the skits and the characters and the weaponry, the testing. That was like always where the passion was. You know, do I meditate? No, I don't meditate. I wouldn't say. I just kind of relax, just shut my mind off or something. Yeah, the arrows I do make as well. No bows, but the arrows. I've never made the tips though. I always buy those, so they have good ones there. What kind of workouts do you do? Weights? I tend to, let me see. Brent says 17,000 subs. It's been kind of cool to watch. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been so much fun being able to have a better time making videos, right? Like, at first I was just like, I don't know, I'd just do a slow motion shot of this or whatever. But since then, trying to create like a script or dialogue and like tell a story and have recurring characters makes it like fun to like script it out. So it's something that like keeps my mind engaged as well. The arrowheads I actually get from Cult of Athena. They actually have the best, you know, decent priced ones that I've seen so far. Hey, thanks, man. Take care. Um, did you see this pro Spanish in the one? Yeah, no, I did see that slinger. Yeah, no, that guy's nuts. All the spins and everything like that. That's really crazy. I can do like some spinning shots and stuff like that, but that's what he does, and the speed he gets and the distance he gets is substantially far superior to what I can do. I can say that without any any ego at all. Like my slinging is decent, right? I'm decent, but there's people out there that are amazing, I would say. And these are some early iterations of old arrows that I made. You can see they're basically just barely hanging on. They got a lot better with time. This is the one I put a little hole in to try like to make the whistling arrow noise with. So it's just like, just everything you learn a lot, So as far as the YouTube journey, that's basically it. Just wanted to share something I enjoyed, I would say. You know, have you talked to could get a plaid? I don't know who that is. That would be great. I've wanted to do something that's like Scottish or Highlanderish. That would be very fun down the road, but just not yet. So hopefully, still much new shit. I thought it was. Yeah, I mean, it depends. For the actual aiming and everything like that, um, the actual aiming is, especially with these, there's not really much time I feel to aim well, and so I tend to just have to release it relatively quickly, especially the higher draw weights. I can't hold this one longer. This one's not brutal for me. Like I said, this one is the 120 at 30. So for this one here, I can hold that one a little bit longer, but if I'm out here just doing this, I'm just kind of like shooting him into the hay bale. I'm just kind of really not really paying attention right now to where they're going necessarily. I'm just letting them go down range. I don't really care too much, and so it's like for a lot of these things, especially with how many pounds of or kilos of force on the draw or the impact. So this one here is 121 pounds at 30. The arrows I shoot, the larger bodkins, are about 15 to 1600 grains. This one will push them out at around 100-ish, 185 feet per second. So whatever that quantifies out to is going to be the number there. I don't know offhand, but you can just do the math for it real quick. More like instinct rather than taking well-minded Olympic shot. I fully agree. It is fully, it's just fully just instinct shooting. So you just kind of line it up and just let it go as quickly as possible. Any bow hunting? No, I've never done really bow hunting. I don't really hunt much. I just kind of do this just in my yard, just in this time. Oh, I have plenty, but that's expensive. Ammo's expensive. This I can do all day once and not have to worry about constantly buying more. This is the fun thing. That's just like once each, so what, it's like $1 a shot for some of those things? No. So again, with these bows, war bows especially, it's going to be less about, it's going to be much less about um, spot on the wild. There he is. We got a Sergeant Alpha Bro coming in hot. Oh, I love that. That's amazing. But these are not so much point shoot hunting bows. Even in the ancient, like medieval times, they had a distinction between like, um, right? I know exactly. Even if they had a distinction between a hunting and a war bow, because war bows were not really used for hunting necessarily. You can aim okay with them, but it's really not the same kind of aiming where you can slowly bring it up, release it, take that shot. They're going to be pushing heavy arrows and heavy mass downrange at a high velocity. And so it's really just going to be that kind of thing. Hold on a second. Let me see. I'm going to remove this person. There we go. That's better. That's better. All right, guys, I got 2 more arrows and I'm going to sign off. I just want to get out here and do like, a few of these out there. Yeah, it's way too loud to be stealthy, that's for sure. Ooh, came off ugly. Alrighty. Two back shooting, and that's yeah, that's true. That's yeah. Bow fishing would be fun. That would actually be really fun to try, to be honest. That would be much less time intensive than hunting. I think that's my biggest hang up with hunting is the time to actually spot and track and do all that. With the one baklava in the future. Oh, I actually reached out to him not long ago and I asked him if he could mail me the crossbow for a video. He's like, yeah, sure. I'm gonna be busy for a little bit, you know. And so he's gonna try and do that to me. So we won't be together, but I'm gonna be access to that 600-pound goat's foot crossbow. So I'm super excited about doing that. I'll think of a fun way to bring that in and everything like that. So that'll be the nice thing, but I'm not gonna meet him, you know. I'm not gonna meet him with anything like that in the near future. So for administrative results, like we had fun collaborating, but it's like a big drive for me to go down there. And so I'm gonna see if I can get that for the time and then kind of bring it in here right there as well. All right. All right, guys, that is my 21 arrows, and that's been about 37 minutes. So I gotta get going, get changed, and then head off to pick up my kids from school in a little bit and get started on my work day. So thank you so much for checking in. This was a lot better than filming today. I didn't have the energy to try to think of something, and so, you know, just want to do that. Oh, before I go, Hilltop Hurler. Hilltop Hurler for the sling. He's where I get my slings. He's fantastic. No, I am not an actor. And I am just a 40-year-old dad who shoots bows. So until next time, guys, have a wonderful one. Thanks for hanging out.